Good evening, family. Last video, probably for this series, definitely for the night. Wanted to just give some final thoughts on everything that we've gone through and just discussed about hardware wallets. Like I said, there are an enormous amount of resources out there who could probably explain everything in depth much better than I could. I'm just trying to give the foundational items here, 30,000 foot view look at this from the bird's eye, and then hopefully that'll get you at least moving in the right direction to start securing some of these assets into your own custody. I think that is overwhelmingly the biggest first step that needs to be taken. Everything after that is really just the mechanics of figuring it out. Not a big deal. Um, the first thing I want to go over is about that last video about the lost recovery device and lost PIN number and what happens if you lose both. Um, don't lose both, I think is my first my first suggestion. Captain Obvious here, I get it. Ledger does have um, tutorial videos on what to do on how to recover a lost PIN number. Again, the PIN number is your day-to-day transactions of occupying this. Your 24 word phrase is only when you get to the shit hit the fan moment. Um, because losing that is really the keys to it all. You don't Those are your keys when they say not your keys, not your crypto. What they're talking about is that recovery phrase. That is the keys to your assets, your very valuable assets that are going to be heading there, particularly if you're moving XRP over. We're talking about potentially, depending on your coin, hundreds of thousands, millions, maybe tens of millions of dollars, depending on how many you have over there on there. So this is you don't want to make a $10 million mistake. That's my take on it. Two, there's Ledger is always looking at updating security measures, and keeping firmware updates on your Ledger device is important. There are videos and support and tutorials on how to do that as well. Just keep that in mind when you're trying to keep this updated. This is an electronic device that hooks into a USB-C that hooks into your laptop. So it has, or your home computer, whichever one. So you have um, an electronic device that has all the bugs and the quirks to it. Just keep that updated. The one thing I don't do is when Ledger Live pops up and there's a question that always comes up every time I shut it down is, would you like the Ledger Live software to make updates to your computer, laptop, whatever it is? I just always say no, just because I don't want that happening, at least on my end. And the third thing I want to go over, which is why not to buy from third parties and what that flow chart looks like if you do end up getting something from a third party, and why it's dangerous to do so. So I'm going to share my OneNote again, and this will be my last one for the night, just to go over this. All right. So as we saw before, when you lose a recovery phrase, or you lose a device and the device gets stomped on and destroyed, and you have the recovery phrase, you just get a new device, put the recovery phrase into it, and you're good to go back up and running. Probably a new password or PIN number to go along with it. I just have to pull this out here. But here's what happens. Let's say you're a nefarious son of a bitch and you want to steal somebody's crypto. So you, nefarious SOB, I'll just put it here. The nefarious SOB buys a Nano S from Ledger, does some nefarious shit with it, which is obtains a 24-word recovery phrase, writes it down on a piece of paper, keeps it in his back pocket, and then he repackages it. Could be a she, but let's just say it's a he. Repackages your Nano S, and sells on eBay. You, not knowing any different, decide to buy it off of eBay for a little bit less money than what Ledger was selling it for. And now you have your Ledger little Nano S in orange because you like the color. It's got the two buttons on top of it, whatever it may be. It's got the screen. Don't know why I did that. Oh, so you're retarded Lego. But the generation of that 24 phrase is intrinsic in the device, and it walks you through it step by step. So you get the 24 phrase. You think you're safe because it's on paper in your safe with the combination that only you know. And then let's say 4 months goes by and you've got some XRP that you transferred over, some XLM, some XDC. This shit goes parabolic to $75, $10, $5, I don't know. And you've got, I don't know, let's just say $900,000 in crypto on your private vault, your Nano S, because you didn't take it out and you're just watching the fun and the fireworks happen. And then who comes back into the picture? Miss Nefarious son of a bitch, who has the 24 recovery phrase from the device that he got from Ledger because he sold it to you on eBay. He goes in and gets a new device from Ledger. And he goes to the spot where it says enter 24-word recovery phrase on your new device. And now Mr. Nefarious son of a bitch has a device with your keys. These are your keys, or at least they were. And now he's got access to all of this. That's why you never go through eBay. You never go through Amazon. You never go through a third-party site. You only buy it directly from Ledger if you're getting a Ledger, Nano S or X. You only go through Trezor, the site to buy it, if you were going to use Trezor instead. Decent, Elipal, Arcturus, Tandem, whatever it may be. Keep this in mind, very, very important. The number one axiom in this industry and in this realm, not your keys, not your crypto. So if you keep them on the exchange or someone gets access to your 24-word phrase, they're not your coins, they're not your assets anymore. Protect yourself always. Stay safe out there. Giant hugs, family. Good night.